anyway, they'll keep doing what they do. At least this thing didn't run out of memory like we're having it earlier, so progress on that. How did the bot manage to get stuck? I don't know. If I knew, I'd fix it. But I'm not too incredibly worried about it at the moment. Off by 1 error. Alright, so we should have our Hes next properly set now. Alright, so result is there. We have a bronze there for the completion and a diamond tier for the final. So why do we have a bronze here? We have a bronze here because inside of our mission, right? We've recorded our mission as having a bronze completion. Alright. And then we got a final bronze because we did that, and the UI looks proper, the seconds is proper. Okay, so we need the initial reset. So we need to go to the arena level. So let's go to what? Reset player. Alright, the other thing we should do is snap the camera to the location. So let's take a look at that. So it's going to be on the player proxy, right? I believe so. Alright, so we'll be able to snap to our position after we do this. We'll have to pass a boolean down here for like actually hard reset this thing. Heat map's still crunching away. How long has this thing been going? An hour? Jeez. Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff. So what is this trying to do? This max hasn't been reached yet. So while we're loading all the events from here, and then we go through every event, go through every touch. We write it. What is our write radius? It's just going to be too many damned events, isn't it? The ball position blur radius is 10. So for every event, we're going to do a whole bunch. So or and level. So that's a lot of events, and then we're going to go through absolutely everything, and we're going to set it. Yeah. That's just a lot of events. So if we want that to be faster, take less than an hour, I'm going to have to just not go through every single event. Something like that. It's like he's selling games. I get emails every time that happens. So I'm like, a couple purchases came in, so I checked on Adam's stream. I was like, what's he doing to sell the game? Because that's what happens. Because one of the things that happens with our updates is basically nobody buys the game during update weekend. Like, we usually have like a purchase or so all the time, and then update weekend is just, there's nothing. So that's what Adam, I think, was talking about when he was like, I don't know if we should be giving away copies for free anymore. And well, the big thing here is the free copies that people get aren't going to give you a Steam code. Like, you don't get a Steam code for one of these free copies. You only get it if you buy it. So that's what the Brackensack purchase entitlement will get you. The Brackensack code entitlement isn't going to get you a Steam key. So that's the other thing, is there'll be people who all of a sudden are like, wait, I could play the game, but now I can't with Steam. And I'll be like, yeah, you have to go buy it to get it on Steam. Sorry. I mean, it's really not that... It's not that sneaky, right? Like... So for the arena level, we've got this reset player. I need to have snap camera as something that we put in here. Yeah, it's kind of the other thing I've seen is the people who actually do play the game and enjoy it most of the time, they will come back and buy a copy of it. I know a couple people have gone and bought a couple copies of the game just because they wanted to, which is cool. I'm fine with that. And also, it's really clear to me that we're not going to get very many purchases on our own website because it's our own website, and let's see, set actor location. We are on here, so this is the player controller. So does the player controller have... Alright, so owned actor, player proxy is a player proxy. Alright, so we do if is valid. And if snap camera. Then snap to position. No, it's not should snap, it's just snap to position. Because a lot of people don't have credit cards and stuff. Yeah, not everybody can sport a credit. Not everybody has a credit card. There's a lot of stuff like that where if it's not on a legit storefront, people can get kind of wary as to what's going on. And, you know, entering your email into something. Like, I can understand why people are very wary of doing that. I mean, it's not like people abuse that, right? Like, what is all this spam email? Yeah, that's kind of the other thing is, I think pretty much most people are trained on the internet to have one real, like, email account and one fake one. You know, like, everybody I know, even like my parents who are getting up there, have got multiple email accounts. Alright, so we got that. That's working now. Alright. Make that several. Yeah, I definitely have many separate accounts. Why is this fucking rail here? Alright, so we got those resets working properly. We should probably do the same thing for when we net reset players on other things. Let's see. We probably call this in other blueprints, right? Alright, I think that should solve a lot of our problems. Partially from stupid names. Yeah. Well, I pretty much picked my username back, the Ambient Energy 101, back forever ago. So I actually never switched usernames. Like, I don't have any email accounts under, like, different alts, I'm pretty sure. Pretty much everything I got. That's got to be something interesting. I don't know if there's been any studies on that sort of stuff to see, like, what people do to pick their online handles and shit like that, and all that. I know I see way too many people who have like their birth year and other shit in their handles. It's just like, what the hell? Like, who do you really think it's a good idea to be like, some dude, and then like your like address in birth city, like mother's maiden name and like year of birth, like that's your handle? Good job, buddy. And I don't understand those people. It's just stupid. All right, so what next? If we've got the mission stuff, so I guess that's all the UI for these pieces for the missions. Let's see, we should be able to fail the mission too. We don't have a fail hooked up or anything, so we need the results to actually be hooked up is what it looks like. Should make a list of it. Anyway, I'll be right back. So the other thing I want to make work is those cutscene skipping things where, what do we got? It's the idea was that for a mission we can have something that does multiple things. All right, so yeah, there's the skip pre-stage screen, skip post-stage screen. So why don't I just delete these two? I'd be pissed if anybody took Sonic. Well, let me just quickly take everything possible. So the question here is, how do we do something that's just a cutscene, right? So we'd set like an intro and an exit cutscene, perhaps. And there's nothing else in this stage, so it's like skip pre-stage screen, skip post-stage screen. Do an intro cutscene, and that's it, and then so we should be able to play the second mission. So there was no first cutscene. When you score a goal, right? So it goes to the post thing. Go to continue. Mission. What? Stage 1. Wrong thing. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So we should start, 1 second should pass, and then we win. No, I forgot to export the mission. Alright, let's take a look at the score goal 2 thing. It's almost easier to read it's easier for me to read the JSON than it is for me to look at the look at this. Like, this is so much less readable to me than just data like that. So maybe we should work in data for some of these things. Well, we'll see. Because this, I don't know, it's really hard to read arrays and shit, and then everything's like, maybe there's a different way to edit this. You know, like, it's like a grid editor thing that you can. Alright, so there might be a nice way to kind of grid edit all these things for these missions and kind of see how all that goes. Alright. Alright, so we'll start this guy. 1 second passes, we win. We hit continue. It goes to the first one. 1 second passes, we win. It looks like it's not advancing to the next stage. Alright, so if we go to our level updates, we have update in stage. So let's see. If we have won the stage, stage is over victory, get player controller on victory, player states. Alright, otherwise, if the current stage exit cutscene has that, otherwise set post stage. So post stage is skip post stage screen. Alright, so it's update post stage. So it is, if we have the next stage, then so this is what we're gonna need to look at. So we have a next stage. So we're going to set to the next stage. It is impossible to walk through these things, isn't it? Alright, so the length of stages, so current stage index is 0, we add 1. Should this be a greater than if okay, so what this is supposed to do is break the mission, get the length, and if the current stage is I guess this is a not equal. Which should just be a less than. So we weren't actually advancing our stage is what it looks like. Okay, so mission 2, the first stage is going to be the same map, so what, Foggy Night is where we are? We should have no wind condition, so it will never end. Alright, so stage 2 has an intro cutscene of GL intro, skip pre-stage screen, skip post-stage screen. What does it go? It's so because we skip the post-stage screen, what just went black there for a bit? My stream did? My internet's usually pretty stable. It's just around midnight, sometimes between midnight and like midnight 30. Comcast will crap out. But it's usually like really obvious that, you know, they're doing maintenance. You know, like router resets or whatever the hell. That's the only thing I've ever seen. And I think they do it like, you know, like once a month or something. So it's pretty regular. I don't think I've ever lost internet during a stream, actually. Okay, so the post-stage screen goes into that guy. So we need to look for is skip pre-stage screen. So what do? We do set loading stage. So game state changed, mission set to loading stage. Destroy all balls. If we are in the stage for the mission, then if we have break cutscene completion, if we have seen the intro, so it's basically skip pre-stage screen is here, so we should go to that guy. Okay, so what is this? This is current mission completion, cutscene completion. If we have seen the intro, set pre-stage cutscene. So this is wrong for this guy here. It's supposed to be checking this guy. So let's go to the post stage cutscene. So what did we do? We did server set in stage. Cutscene actor. This is set pre-stage cutscene. This one is set post-stage here. So we need to do a branch here to skip the... I think we're going to have another thing in there for like always play cutscene. So why don't we go add that real quick. So I think it's going to be... Thanks for taking focus, Visual Studio. I just know you wanted to have some fucking attention. So cutscene completion is going to be always play. It will be something. And the reason for always play may be that you have a mission there or something that introduces somebody. You know, like you got a mission and one of the cutscenes actually introduces the characters. And maybe it's like a really short cutscene, like 1 or 2 seconds, right? And like, you know, it puts you in a level and there's like water in the middle of the level and you walk over, trigger volume hits, it plays like 2 seconds of, you know, some some critter jumping out of the bushes, and then it cuts back to the game and you actually play. That's fine. We should have that in there. We need to go to our game data and we need to add that to our completion. His stream died again. The Australia's letting him down. That is unfortunate. Alright, so what are the stats from yesterday? Yesterday, there were 130,000 total touches on the ball, most of which were pop-ups. Let me see if I can show some of this. Some of the stats might be interesting here, so I'm gonna see if I can show a bit of them. So let me see if this is interesting to you guys or not. So these are the heat maps from yesterday for everything. So we had, let's see, players. Nobody was able to pop up another player. That's good. There were 10,000 ground pounds. So if we put a kind of a pie chart on all this, let's see. It looks like he's back, so if he dropped off, he dropped off for a little bit. So let's see. Sunny Day was played quite a few times. Looking for differentials. Just 3 minutes? Ah, that's not too bad. Probably lost everybody, though. So, ground pounds were against players, not balls, is what it looks like. Pop-ups were, again, the most popular thing. It was very popular to punch people in the face. It was more popular to punch people in the face than every other move against other players combined. So for our heat map for Sunny Day, ball hits right along the base of the track. Most blue ball hits were on the left, most red ball hits were on the right. That's kind of what we'd expect. Versus player hits, there's a lot more player hits. Like you can kind of see the difference in colors. This is bluer and this is redder. So people on defense are punching people to defend as opposed to clearing the ball. That's pretty funny. Let's see. It looks like people are doing a lot of hits mid-range against the goal. So there's kind of like a dead zone right in here. The downslopes are dead zones. The ball position stuff is not really very useful. It's got a little bit of burn up above, but basically the ball is just all over the place, so it doesn't matter. See, Foggy Night. Pretty popular map. I mean, the only big difference here is that it's very obvious that ball hits are segregated very much by team. See, the Forest Day level, ball hits are obviously right next to the goal with a lot of travel between player position. Forest Night, so Mushroom Hall, ball hits are all over the place. Player hits and player position are all over the place, but cluster around goals again. Let's see, Caverns. I mean, you can see the choke points, right? They're definitely choke points for stopping the ball. It'd be nice to see some of these pie charts to see on which maps people turn into just jerks and beat the shit out of each other. But it looks like Sunny Day's the most all over the place. It's like Sunny Day and Foggy Night are all pretty even, and then it looks like the Caverns level is probably most similar to the Forest Day level in terms of its playstyle. It kind of just, it's this running fight across the level, versus it looks like the other ones like Foggy Night and the Grasslands are very much the ball and people are constantly moving across the entire thing. But, well, they're moving back and forth quickly, but it's not like you're running across the entire frickin' level whenever somebody gets a hit. Or are you? Maybe that's what it is. They're also smaller levels. But I think we're seeing the most gradation of obvious playstyles in Sunny Day and Foggy Night, and the other ones are just kind of punch fest. Let's calculate our punches to hits ratio. So this one is 65 divided by 45, so this is 1.4 for violence meter. So Caverns violence is 1.44. Our Forest Night is 10 to 5. So we have a violence level in Mushroom Hall of 2. Forest Day is looking like 4.5 divided by 3.3. So Forest Day has a violence level of 1.36. We've got Foggy night, we've got 136 divided by 70.7. We got 1.9. So 1.9 violence meter. And this guy is 19.3 divided by 11.4, which is 1.7. So the least violent map is the Forest Day map. The most violent map is Mushroom Hall and Midnight Ridge. So caverns, yeah, so caverns and Forest Day are kind of they're the most similar to each other, and then Mushroom Hall and Midnight Ridge are similar to each other, and Grasslands is kind of in the middle. So the question would be, what about them contributes to the violence? I mean, Caverns and Forest Day, you're running the entire time. They're also larger maps. So you're basically chasing after people, so you don't have nearly as much time to punch people. On the other hand, this could be a lot of ping punching crap going on. I mean, Mushroom Hall being the most violent kind of makes sense, because it's got that trap in the middle, and people just have to fight over it. Midnight Ridge being violent is going to be about those forced setups, like getting the ball in, is very difficult. Let's see, is there a difference with pounds? So that's like... we should probably do like how many pop-ups versus that. So on which maps do you use pop-up the most? So it's going to be what, 3 divided by 11. It's 27%. 21 divided by 70. One divided by 3.2. One 1.6 divided by 5.6. 2.6 divided by 45.7. So it looks like everything has kind of the same pop-up ratio. About 30% of all hits are pop-ups. So